Hey everybody, welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. Sunday morning, lots to talk about, guys. So today the show is only going to be 30 minutes long. I tend to go overboard and I tend these shows to be only 30 minutes. But sometimes I just get carried away talking with you guys and it ends up to being over an hour. So I want to keep it short and sweet today. And first off, I want to make sure that you guys can hear me okay. So please give me an indication that the sound is okay on your end, loud enough and not clipping. That would be helpful so we can get the show started. Good morning to everyone that took the time to wake up nice and early on this Sunday and join me for this event. I really appreciate you guys tuning in every Sunday. I know Sunday is resting day and a lot of guys like to take the opportunity to sleep in, me included. But I figured, you know what, Sunday morning is a quiet day to start off with some gear discussions and get you thinking, get the juices flowing for the rest of the week. So today I want to talk about gear, of course. That's our main topic of interest on this show. And specifically, things that I'd like to get my hands on and try, things that I haven't had the opportunity to try yet. And just basically start that discussion with you guys. So remember, guys, this is a two-way conversation. If you have any comments, if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to add them to the live chat. I'll answer your questions. And we'll be able to have a two-way discussion. I don't want this to be just you guys listening to me talk for half an hour straight with no interaction from you guys. So I would appreciate you guys piping in. So my question to you guys at the top of the show today is, what gear do you guys have your eyes on? What are you guys looking at trying out, or possibly you've picked up some new gear recently? So what is it that you have on your bucket list for gear? If you haven't already, spent some cash on something recently. For me, obviously, there's always things coming in and going out. There's a few things that I've gotten recently. I posted a video yesterday on the Harley Benton Fusion 2 guitar that I got recently. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet, but basically I went down the list of features on that guitar and I'm super happy with it so far. I really am pleased with it on many levels. There's a lot of good things that guitar offers, mainly price. Features are incredible on it, and some people have asked me some questions after I posted that video, so I wanted to take a second or two just to go over that with you guys. Somebody had asked me what the body on the guitar is made out of, and according to the specs, it's made of mahogany. So that is something that, if that was unclear for whatever reason, it's on the website, but I guess people were having a hard time finding that information. So mahogany body, ebony fretboard, and although the fretboard doesn't look like it's ebony because it's usually ebony is tinted black, this one isn't, so it's raw ebony and it looks really nice. Paint is turquoise. I refer to it as green, but if you want to get technical, they call it ocean turquoise. Stainless steel frets, and I wasn't sure what kind of strings they put on it, but I found out that they are using the Dario EXL 10s on it. And I thought they were 10s. They did feel a little thicker than I usually use. But what's really amazing about that guitar overall is that they do offer a 3-year warranty on it and a 30-day money back guarantee. So if anybody is looking to maybe try those guitars, I know they're hard to find in local shops, but basically you have a 30-day no questions asked return policy on the guitar plus a 3-year warranty. So that's pretty good in terms of being sure that nothing goes wrong with the guitar over time. And basically, one of the main things with these guitars that are made in Indonesia and overseas and whatnot, if they're not made in a reputable company, and I don't know where the Harley Benton stuff is being made. They probably source them from different companies, and they probably switch companies as they go. But the important thing is that they're made in companies that are able to mass produce guitars quickly and have the proper kiln drying machinery to dry the woods properly, because that's the biggest thing when companies are cranking out guitars. If they don't give them enough time to dry out the woods properly, that's where you get tone suck. The sap in the wood stays there and the wood will change over time, whereas good quality guitar manufacturers make a point of drying out the wood properly before it leaves the door. So that's a couple of things that I wanted to say about the Harley Benton Fusion 2. I'm not gonna harp on about it. You guys can watch the video review. And let's see who's online today. We have a few people here today. So we have my good friend, the Padded Pedal Room. Good morning. Nice to see you. Appreciate you tuning in as usual. We have Ed. We have Vox Guitars Rock. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. And we have Kim's Workshop as well. Good morning. And so there's a couple of comments already, so I'll address those comments. And let's see, we have Ed looking or has his eye on the Positive Grid Spark. And a lot of people are interested in the Positive Grid stuff because it is friendly for home environments. And it does allow some pretty good flexibility. And let me know why you're looking at that specifically, Ed. I'm just curious to see why you would want to choose that. Is it the price point? Is it the features? What has you interested in that particular product? Vox Guitars Rock is looking for a good reverb pedal. When you say good reverb pedal, is that a cheap good reverb pedal, an expensive good reverb pedal? What are you looking for exactly? The Strymon stuff is amazing if you want to get a good reverb pedal. It's not cheap though. And the Padded Pedal Room says I'm looking at either a Gibson or Epiphone Les Paul Special in TV yellow with P90s. Cool. The Les Paul Special looks interesting. I picked one up at a local guitar shop here, and the neck was very, very chunky. So if you don't like chunky necks, you might not bond with that particular guitar. Although there are a lot of people making knockoffs of those particular styles. So you could possibly get something in the same vein for less money. And then maybe upgrade the pickups or hardware if you're not happy with it, and you still might end up on top. Vox Guitar says his wife bought him a Gibson Les Paul Tribute, had to take it back, and went through 3 more before found one with acceptable action height. Well, the thing is, if you're not accustomed to working on your own guitars, the action is not anything where I would normally worry about it. If you're picky and you don't know how to work on your own guitars to set up the action, then by all means bring it back. But adjusting the actions on a guitar is pretty basic stuff, and I always tend to adjust my guitars whenever I get them. They're never how I really want them to be right off the bat. So it's good to learn how to work on your own guitars. What else do we have here? So Paul is in the house, and Paul says he recently discovered Tech and Tone. Their Turbo Nonna is a tone killer. That's a funny name, Turbo Nonna. Interesting. Nonna in Italian is grandmother, so that's pretty funny. I gotta check it out though because I haven't really heard of it. I gotta see what it does. Ed is, I think Ed's looking for a practice amp to use while watching TV. Well, a good practice amp. People always say practice amps, but honestly, if you're looking for something that is cheap and flexible and provides good tone, and you can use it, either with headphones or while multitasking, you can always get yourself a multi effects unit. A lot of the multi effects unit will also have a line in, and what's amazing is that you can also use the wireless systems like these guys here. Oops, with these guys here to basically, man, yeah, to basically get away from having wires all over the place. And you can also, through the line in, if you're watching TV, is you can get yourself a Bluetooth transmitter and plug it into your TV and put the receiver into the line in of the multi effects unit. So you can actually put headphones on, listen to the TV through the line in, and play your guitar at the same time if you really want to enjoy your TV while playing. But I would say, when you're playing or practicing, don't watch TV. Makes things a lot easier. Kim's Workshop says he just got a Harley Benton TE20 and it's coming tomorrow. The TE20, that's the Telecaster, if I'm not mistaken. And I had my eye on that guitar as well. I'm trying to get that in the house. I have two other Harley Benton guitars I want to check out. It's the T Fusion, which is basically the Telecaster version of the Fusion 2, which is obviously a different body shape, but it's Telecaster body but with humbuckers. And I'm also interested in picking up the SC450 GT Classic, which is kind of the Les Paul body style that they have, and it's a gold top with P90s. Just because I always wanted a gold top, I never actually picked one up, and I do like the P90 pickups. And I don't have any guitars with P90s in them right now, so I thought that would be a cool thing to have in the collection. And if I can get my hands on those guys, I'll do some reviews on them for you as well. Ed says he got a Donner Verb Square. I like it so far. I haven't seen that one. Is that the mini reverb pedals that they sell? I tried out some Donner stuff, but I haven't tried out that yet. When it comes to Donner stuff, while we're on the topic of Donner, I'm pretty impressed with some of their stuff. Mainly the instruments. I picked up a bass, which was a P bass copy from them, and honestly, it's just as good as anything you would get from Squier, or if you're playing something, if you're not like an active bass player and you just want something to record some tracks with, it's a great sounding bass and it's built really, really well. And actually, I'm gonna pick up a Donner acoustic guitar, an electric acoustic guitar for my daughter, and the guitar is under $200 with a gig bag and all the case candy and everything like that. I ordered it on Amazon and it should be here hopefully before the end of the week. So I'm probably gonna do a little review on that as well, because it's a really inexpensive way to get some gear for your children, or just for a kick around type thing. I'm pretty impressed with it. So so far anyway. I'm curious to try out some more stuff. Matt's in the house. He says the Keeley Aurora is a very versatile reverb pedal, standard to ambient reverb. Has plate, hall, and room settings, and can be purchased used for $120. That's not bad. That's really not bad. If it depends if you're looking for a reverb pedal that has a lot of bells and whistles with it. I'm pretty happy with the TC Electronics reverb pedal that I have on my board right now. it really does the job for me. And the cool thing about the TC Electronics stuff is they're not extremely expensive, and they do have the tone print feature, which allows you to customize the reverbs that come on the unit. So you can actually go to their website and download some patches specifically for other reverb settings, and I think that's killer as an option. I really like that feature on the TC Electronics stuff. So you're never limited, like if you want a specific reverb, you can always download it through your mobile phone right into the pedal, and it's crazy the way it works, and it really does a great job. So I'm very happy with the TC Electronics stuff. I have my eye on a TC Electronics digital delay, the flashback, the new version. Haven't been able to find one used, but if I find one at a good price, I will definitely snag that up. I also have a TC Electronics chorus pedal, also has the tone print feature. I don't use it all that much. I'm not a big chorus guy, but I figured if I had to get a chorus pedal, I'd like something with some flexibility, and I picked that up as well. So the TC Electronics stuff seems to be quite reliable for me anyways. So the padded pedal room says, take a look at the Nunbar Immerse. It's a great reverb pedal. I've had the first generation, and it sounds fantastic quality wise. It's up there with Strymon, but much better pricing. I've heard of that pedal. I've actually seen reviews on it as well, and it's not something that you see that often on the used market. But yeah, from what I've seen, it does sound amazing. It's a really good sounding pedal. So if you're into reverbs, then definitely that would be a nice choice. So we have a comment. It says, from what I can see, the ST20HSS is amazing for the price. It's just great. Well, um, I'm hoping that eventually I'll get my hands on a lot of these guitars and we'll be able to review them together. Good morning, Six String Brian. How are you today? Nice to see you in the house. Mojo44, good morning. He says my favorite gear this year was the Fender Deluxe Reverb Tone Master amp. Love the features, sounds great, takes pedals well, great amp to pick up and go to gigs with. The Tone Master is the transistor version, isn't it? And I've seen good reviews on it. I haven't actually tried it myself. I don't necessarily, I don't really need a transistor amp at the moment, but I heard good things about it. When it comes to gear and Fender amplifiers, for me right now, I've had my eye on the Bassbreaker 30R. It's one of the amps that I really want to get my hands on. I keep on looking for used versions online, but I don't see too many people selling them. So either they like them and they want to keep them, or they don't sell that many and they're rare. But locally, at least, I haven't seen too many of these amps. In the meantime, I picked up a 15, a Bassbreaker 15, and the difference between the 15 and the 30, obviously beyond the wattage, because the 30 is obviously 30 watts and the 15 is 15 watts. The difference between the two is that the 30 has two independent channels that are switchable, and the 15 doesn't have a foot switch. It does have three gain stages that you can work with. It doesn't ever become super clean, but it's a great amplifier if you want to get that classic rock tone. Um, Estland says, I'm waiting on the new Pro Series Explorers uh, because eat what? I don't get it. Whatever. He's waiting for the Custom Pro Series Explorers. I haven't seen them. 6-string Brian P90s rock. I have a Les Paul R6 Gold Top and love it. Lucky Man, nice R6. Very expensive guitars, but yeah, P90s, I agree with you. They're kind of in between that humbucker tone and the Telecaster. If I don't like the pickups, I can always swap them out and put something that I like. I don't know much about P90, so I wouldn't really know what to look for in terms of pickups, aftermarket pickups made by other winders. So if you guys have any suggestions for any good quality P90 pickups, let me know. I'll probably be in the market soon. Box Guitars Rock says, any suggestions for a 3/4 size electric guitar for my grandson? There are a few companies that make those short scale guitars. I had bought my son a 3/4 scale Fender, or I think it was a Squier or something like that. You can find them on eBay. You can probably also find them on Amazon today. So just take a look around and you'll be able to find something. I'm sure they're not. Sometimes, unfortunately, those 3/4 scale guitars are pretty expensive just because of the size. So got to look around and shop around a little bit on those. In terms of pedals, what I have right now that I'm taking a look at is this guy here from Harley Benton, which I purchased and got with my guitar. This is the Thunder 99, and a lot of you guys probably haven't heard of this pedal, probably don't even need this pedal. What it is it's actually it's a power amp and a pedal. So the reason why I purchased this is for specific applications where if I'm going into my multi-effects unit and I want to go into an amplifier cabinet and I don't have an amp with me, I can just take this, plug the multi-effects unit into this, and then go with this directly into the cab without any amplifier. And this will work like an amplifier. Cool thing about this is that it has 2 ins, 2 outs, so you can actually do stereo splitting if you want. I haven't figured out how to use an effects loop. I usually, when I go from my pedal board to my amps, I usually use the modulation effects and go into the effects loop. Now I'm not sure you can do that with this. If anybody knows how to do that, let me know. I'd be interested in finding out. It also has a line in, so you can actually plug in another device and listen to that device through the speakers, and it also has a headphone out. Sounds pretty good. The only thing that's weird about this, well, not weird, it's just because it's a pedal-sized amplifier, but it has a really huge wall wart with it, right, to actually provide the power. I'm not surprised about this. It's just that a lot of companies actually build it into the pedal, but the pedals are bigger, a lot bulkier footprint. I like this because it's not that big. So that's something that I've been playing around with lately. And I also picked up another pedal from Harley Benton, which is this guy here, which is a Harley Benton OD5. And the cool thing about this pedal is that it is very transparent. There's not a lot of gain on this pedal. Like you can maximize the gain and the volume, and it doesn't really sound extremely loud. I haven't opened it up to see if there's any switches inside of it to actually increase the output of the gain, but I don't think that there is. I might actually open it up and see what's what. I would prefer pedals that are not this size. I'm trying to get away from big pedals, and I want to squeeze more into my pedal board. And actually, I have a pedal board project that I wanted to do, and that's take my existing pedal train and move it over to a 2-tier pedal board so that I can actually squeeze in a lot more pedals into a smaller footprint. I've been meaning to do that, and I just haven't had the time to do it. But I definitely want to try and do that, and I'll probably videotape the whole thing for you guys because I think you guys are interested in that kind of stuff as well. And one thing I wanted to say, a little tip I wanted to share with you guys, and I mentioned this on an older video of mine, but I'm going to say it again because I'm a real I'm sold on this stuff. If you're gonna set up a pedal board, get this stuff. It's called 3M Dual Lock. Comes in rolls like this. It's very expensive. You know, you're gonna be paying probably close to $50 for a roll like this. But I'm telling you, this stuff for pedal boards is really amazing. You have to be careful. There's different versions of these things. There's the longer, I don't know what they call it, but there's a longer pile, I guess if you want to call it that, and the thinner ones. The thinner pile doesn't stick as well. The one I get is very thick. I don't know if I can even show it to you here, but maybe you can see the texture. You see it? This stuff goes on and you have to pry apart your pedals from your pedal board if you want to take them off. It's really great. And it doesn't weaken over time, and it doesn't attract dog hair, stuff like that, where normal Velcro will do it. And you really just need a small piece, like an inch, and it'll secure your pedals to your pedal board forever. It's amazing stuff, and honestly, it's well worth the money. And I'll show you guys how it works when I do the pedal board setup. You'll understand why I love it so much. A couple of other things I've been looking at lately, and I try not to get influenced too much on this stuff, but the California Tweed amp that they've released recently, I try to stay away from any kind of Mesa stuff. Mesa, whatever. I've had plenty of Mesa amps in the past, and I always I'm excited by them, but then eventually I end up realizing that they're not for me for whatever reason, and I keep doing that. And I told myself no more Mesa amps, but then I saw the California Tweed, and it does sound really good, man. I don't know if it sounds better than what Fender's putting out. But from some of the videos, it really does sound glorious with a good overdrive pedal in front of it. So I don't know. I'm gonna maybe have to try it out in a local shop and see what happens. I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to avoid. Yeah. Paul says the dual lock stuff is amazing, but if you change your pedals out a lot, you will hate it. I don't typically change my pedals out too often. I know that it does. You do have to be careful. One trick I learned, and I'll share that with you guys. If you use the dual lock stuff, is if you try and pull the pedals out like this, you'll never pull them out. It's gonna. Some cases, if you have pedals that have plastic backs, it'll rip out the back before it actually removes the pedal. The trick I've learned is to lift off the edge and twist and lift it, and it comes out pretty easy. You can also slide a little wooden, like a popsicle stick between the dual lock and the pedal, and it comes out pretty easy that way too, without damaging it, obviously. Paul says reverb deadbeat pedals. The Void reverb is under $100 US. It has only one sound, but controls to get a lot out of it. The big deal is it has a very, very high-end studio quality sound. I gotta check that out. I don't use too much reverb. As a general rule, I just kind of use it to fill up the sound a little bit more. Sometimes I even use my delay pedal on a really short, like a slap back delay with a very low mix to kind of fill out the sound, and it does kind of emulates that reverb thing as well. Joey Deneau says, got an Ibanez THBB10 AZ model, legit the best guitar I own. Joey, how much did you pay that guitar? I tried one out. Expensive, really super expensive guitars. I'm trying to stay under certain budgets for guitars. I know that I get carried away, and I have some expensive guitars in my collection, but lately, honestly, I've picked up guitars that are very affordable and do a fantastic job without breaking the bank. I just I'm turned off by the fact that a large companies like Fender and Gibson are gouging their customers. Fender recently got accused of price fixing, and I'm not surprised at all. Their prices are just going through the roof on their models, and it really turns me off the new Fender guitars. I like Fender guitars, but I'll buy them used and save myself the money. It's just weird that, every time they come up with a new guitar, they change the name and they charge you like $1,000 more. It's the same guitar, guys. They're making minor corrections, minor changes, like minuscule changes in certain cases, and they're charging you a premium because it's this year's model and they changed the name and it's supposed to be so much better than last year's model. Come on, guys, you can make these guitars. If you could make a Squire and you can make that guitar and sell it for $400 and still make a profit, it's costing them peanuts to make these guitars, and they're really taking us for a ride. So that's just my vent for today. Paul says for digital pedals, the NUX are exceptional. The quality is dead equal to TC Electronics, but cheaper. Yeah, I got some stuff from them that I want to try out. I don't have a reverb. The thing with the NUX stuff, and I'm not sure, you correct me if I'm wrong, but it does in certain cases introduce some noise when you're playing it with other gear. So you have to be careful which ones you get. Six String Brian suggests that I look at Seymour Duncan. They say they make a great P90 pickup. I guess Seymour is you can't go wrong with Seymour Duncan pickups, I guess. So I guess I'm not surprised. Seymour Duncan Fat Cat P90s. I'll take a look at those. Take a look. Glenn says, I'm getting serious about a Fusion 2. Mahogany works for me. Did you need to tweak the setup much? Love your channel. Thanks, Glenn. I appreciate that. I actually have a video. Go back maybe I think 1 or 2 videos and you'll see me actually setting up that specific guitar and what I do to it. Didn't need much, it just needed a minor adjustments, but I do that with all my guitars. It's not specifically because it was a Harley Benton that I needed to spend time tweaking it. So if you're interested in seeing what happens when I do a setup, you can check out that video. I'll probably do more of those videos if you guys are interested. It's just I find them a little boring. But if you guys like that kind of stuff, I'll be more than happy to share with you guys. Fox Guitars Rock says, I have a pair of GFS. Mean 90 humbucker size P90s and a Les Paul copy. They sound very good. Yeah, I've tried out a couple of Guitar Fetish pickups in a couple of lower end guitars, and I wasn't disappointed with them. It's hard to determine the sound because often people that are making videos on these pickups, you'll see older videos, the sound quality in the recording methods that were used in the videos are not very good, so it's hard to determine whether or not the pickups actually sound good or not. That's the only difficulty I had. Guys, it's 10:30 already. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to jet. I had a whole bunch of other stuff on my list that I wanted to talk to you about today, but unfortunately, I have to limit the session today to half an hour. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I will definitely have another Sunday session next Sunday, where we can go into a lot more detail and cover a lot of ground. I'll just very, very quickly look at some of the last questions that I have here and try to answer them. And then I'm going to have to say good afternoon, or well, it's not afternoon yet, but good Sunday to the rest of you guys. Let's have a look here. Padded Pedal Room says, can't wait to see your pedal board setup. Thanks, man. My pedal board is constantly evolving, so there's It's just one rendition of what's on there at the moment, one snapshot of what I have there, but they keep changing. And a lot of times I'm just experimenting with different pedals to see what they sound like. So you'll see that soon. What's the HB amp pedal cost, and what Harley Benton guitars are you getting? I'm a new subscriber. Keith, I just mentioned that earlier. I'm looking at the Harley Benton SC450, that's the gold top Les Paul style, and the Harley Benton T-Fusion, which is the Telecaster version of the Fusion guitar that I have here. Joey Dono says it's premium model and I got it on a deal for about $1,100 with a gig bag. DiMarzio pickups, Goto trem and locking tuner, stainless steel frets. It's like the Sir Modern I used to own, but much cheaper. It's a great guitar. I tried one in my local shop, Joey. It sounded great to me. Just that brand new, they were about $2,400, so pretty expensive. I'm just curious why you sold your Sir Modern. That's a great guitar. I have one too. Actually, mine is the Standard Pro. And honestly, the Standard Pro is fantastic. The Harley Benton actually is very, very similar to it. And you'd be amazed at how close you can get with it. And the price difference is what, $3,000 difference between the two? Probably a little bit more. Okay, Joey says that's 1,100 sterling in the UK, so I don't know what that means in US or Canadian dollar, but I guess it's a little more. Take care, Padded Pedal Room. See you soon. Thanks for tuning in. Fox Guitars, thank you for tuning in. Have a great afternoon. Have a great Sunday. Paul says A to G, the Void reverb is ideal for your use. It's plate and will never turn your sound into a hash. If you use an always on and set back, it's amazing sound quality, makes a big difference. I like the plate reverbs. That's what I usually use with my delays, just to get that kind of like that Van Halen trail on the notes. So yeah, that's going to be something I should take a look at then, probably. So I guess Joey upgraded his Modern and got sold for something else, which is mostly what we do as guitarists. We're all about trying new things, and things are always constantly on the chopping block. So anyways, good to see all you guys here. I'm gonna have to jet. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys, and I really look forward to the Sunday chat. So stay tuned for next Sunday's chat, because it's gonna happen around the same time. If you have any other questions after the video is posted live, you can ask other questions as well, and I'll continue answering them. We're halfway through the month already. I can't believe February is almost done, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Summer's on its way, guys, so don't despair. Stay tuned to Addicted to Gear. If you want to check out my other videos, I also post them on addictedtogear.com. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing, because it is the reason why I produce these videos for you guys. So stay tuned, guys. Keep rocking, like I normally always say at the end of my videos. Thank you for tuning in and your support. Take care. Talk to you soon. Peace out.